decided that it is that time of the afternoon to try and quench his thirst. It is incredibly hot, and he was sitting under the tree and a few birds started chirping by the waterhole, and that kind of triggered him to start moving of him, and as he laps up some of this cooler water. And he's got himself a nice little spot there because he can drink without having to be in any of the sun. He's got a nice little shady sort of angle in which to be able to quench his thirst. But how beautiful is that? What a way to start off the year. I know it's not exactly high action, but just to see a leopard drinking, and particularly when you can get front on like this and see him perfectly, is absolutely phenomenally good. So I'm pretty happy with that, and it's a good way, like I say, to start. And it's always good to see Hosana as well. He's such a character and a leopard that we spend so much time with over the last year that it's always good to kind of just see how he is. And I haven't seen him for quite some time, so it's nice just to see how he's been doing and to see how good a condition he's actually in. When he stood up just now, I was having a nice look at him. He's got a really healthy set of shoulders now. Little dewlap is starting to form quite nicely, and look at the size of those paws. If you look at the relation to his head and the paw sort of size difference, you can see his paws are starting to get quite big now as well. So he's going to be a big boy later in life. Of course, they are splayed at the moment, and that's because of the softer mud, and all his pressure is on those front legs at the moment, and that's why we're seeing that. But look at that. How cool is that? Shame boy, are you thirsty? I'm not surprised. It is very warm out there. Maybe a few too many apple juices for New Year last night, and that's why he's getting tucked into some water. But there we go. I wonder where he's going to go from here. I'm pretty sure he's going to try and find himself a shady spot. I would be very surprised if he decided to start moving now. It is still too warm for a cat to really be out in the sun, so maybe he's just come for a quick drink, and then he's going to find himself another little shady section in which to lie down. But something definitely caught his interest just now, because he was sitting sleeping, he yawned, and then all of a sudden he shot bolt upright and sort of stared towards the north. And so I don't know if maybe he heard some impalas around, maybe there was a warthog that was coming down, because there will be warthogs that will move towards mud wallows like this. We were discussing it right at the beginning of drive. In hot weather, you'll often have things like impalas and warthogs and those kind of things coming to these areas, and so maybe something like that was moving around, and that's what caught his attention, although he seems not to be too fazed by all of that right now. Shame boy, have you got a little bit of an itch on the back of your head? He seems to have had an itch around that right ear for quite some time now. He actually, every now and then you can see he scratches it a little bit raw, but it's not too bad. It's not anything to worry about. Maybe it's a little bit of something that just irritates him around the ears. Also, you'll find a lot of ticks get into that area around the ears. That's a commonplace, particularly on leopards, because they don't have that ability to have a family that grooms them. They've got to groom themselves, and so sometimes you do get little ticks around the bases of their ears, and they do scratch at it and try and get rid of them. So could be why he's been doing it quite a bit. I wonder if he's going to go back to the exact same spot, but you can see that dewlap now just hanging down from his chin. Adele, difficult to say. You're wondering what area I think Hosana will claim. Well, at the moment, you know, he's moving in such a small section. He moves from Chitwa to Little Gari to Chitwa to Little Gari, and I can't remember the last time I actually saw him on Djuma itself. So he seems to have moved a little bit south, and so I don't know if he's going to kind of claim this little section now and try and utilize this area, but he's going straight back to the bush that he first lay in and going to lie down. So I'm just going to reposition ourselves. But I don't know if he's maybe going to try and take this section. Obviously, he's going to have a lot of competition because Tumba is around, there's Quarantine, there's this new male that's called the Hukamuri male, which is actually, for those of you who don't know, Hukamuri is a drainage line that is on an area called Ottawa, which is a part of Singita, the northern part of Singita, and it is a big prominent riverbed system, much like the Mulawati, that flows there, and it's a great place for both leopard and lion to have cubs. I know the Ottawa Pride used to have their cubs there quite a lot, and a number of different females. There was the Shangwa female that used to have her little ones there sometimes, and so there are a few different ones that use that area. So I think he's a offspring from one of the females in that section, but I'm sure that's where his name comes from. It's not that we've named him that. He was identified by some of the other rangers. So I just want to try and quickly get past these guys. Unfortunately, they've kind of parked in a way. I'm just going to go past Mike quickly. Thanks. So he's around. So Hosana's got to think about all of these different cats at this stage. He's got to worry about these males, and so I'm hoping that he'll get lucky and he'll be able to take this little sort of chitwa, little Gowrie section for now until he gets strong enough and big enough to then be able to start pushing outwards a little bit. But he definitely is going to have a tough time because, like I say, quarantine is starting to push onto chitwa, and we know then there's this other male coming from the west, and well, Tingana is not done yet either, and so he's not going to take kindly to a big male leopard. But you can see when he sits like that, look at the size of his neck and head, it's just starting to get much, much bigger. Right, but we're going to sit with Hosana a while longer. I'm sure he's going to get up at some point. He's definitely staring up to the north, and so maybe there's something around here that he might be interested in hunting. Now, something else that has been hunting already today and seems to have provided much entertainment is one of the other spotted cats from the Masai Mara that is currently sitting with Ralph.